Yeah, I'm on the internet and I'm surfing, and you got these religion people. They out here and they just, so lost being the sheeple, but that's fine because somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do the lost mentality of people going on this damn hamster wheel. See, when you break down holy, when you look at the word holy, right? So you're being, what are you, what is your vessel full of? It's full of a hole. So when you have a hole, what does the hole represent? It represents something that can fill the hole. So what's going to fill the hole? Religion. Religion will fill that empty space of nothingness. That's what it's going to do. Fill the empty space of nothingness. Dealing with the word holy. And then when you see these so-called angels, you got these so-called angels, and then they got the halo over their head, which represents the hamster wheel, which represents you going nowhere. You're moving, but you're going nowhere. That's what that shit represents. That's why when religion people come on my page and they can't, you know what I'm saying, they're because every mind has a processor. It's just like a computer. Every mind has a processor in it. So when they try to process this stuff, it's because they're not. The reason why they can't process this is because their Akashic records are not being activated. It's just that simple. Their Akashic records are not being activated, so they can't process this stuff when they hear somebody from the future telling you what's going on this planet. They can't process it. So arguing with somebody that's a mind has already been altered, their mind's already been altered. Either they're going to evolve mentally or not. So that's why you don't waste your time on religion people, especially in this 3D reality. Don't waste your time on religion people because they've been pushed this Jupiter and Zeus doctrine for so long. That's all they believe in. That's all they believe in. Dealing with these vaccines and dealing with all this stuff that's going on in the world right now, is not a lot of people that's going to make it. It's not. It's not a lot of people that's going to make it through the transition, through the ascension. They're not going to make it. So that's why when you're dealing with holy and you're dealing with the term holy, is because your vessel is a hole. It's shallow. It's a shallow, deep hole that could be filled with anybody's doctrines and philosophies. That's what holy means. Holy just means that you're just being a good vessel for the agenda. Whatever the agenda is, your vessel's being a fully whole, holy, a hole for anything that come up in that hole. Dealing with your avatar body in this three-dimensional realm, you're dealing with your avatar body, and it is a quantum deflection mechanism. That's all it is. A quantum deflection mechanism. Dealing with the word holy, because and I'm sitting here on the internet and I see this one Israelite, pushing the vaccines. You know why? Because their mind has already been invaded by that doctrine. I ain't gonna say I couldn't believe, right? But what I'm saying is, yeah, he was pushing the vaccines. And it's a highly known Israelite. And he was talking about, well, that wasn't, such and such in the 10 Commandments. So, you got to go get the vaccine. If you choose to do that, that's fine. If that's what you choose to do, if you want to go get the vaccine, you want to be vaccinated, that's fine. But look up, this what I'm going to do. I'm going to give y'all some homework. Go on Google and look up the term VAC. I'm going to repeat myself. Go on Google and look up the term VAC. Dealing with Google. And, because the one thing about the Israelite, because I used to watch them back in the day when I was, 2009, 2010, when I was focused on the Israelite doctrine back in those days, because it's always a stepping stone. It's always evolvement. You always have to evolve to go past everything that you see in this three-dimensional realm. So when I was dealing with him, and, it surprised me for him to say that. It really did, because I would expect, one of these celebrities or, one of these slave Negroes to come out and say that. But then when he said it, I was shocked. I'm not even going to lie. I was really shocked. I said, damn, the Israelites is pushing the vaccine. You don't see nobody else on the internet. Nobody else on the internet dealing with these communities, dealing with the natives. In Minnesota, we have a big Somalian community. They're not even talking about it, right? You got all these other communities that's not talking about the vaccine. But see, that's the thing. See, and then I said, in my last video, I said, I'm not going to talk about black and white, but it's just so significant because all that stuff, when you're dealing with the black race, you're dealing with the white race, like they go hand in hand. The reason why I say that is because they're feeding off each other's energy. See, when you give energy somewhere, then you're being drained. You're just being drained. Back to the holy concept. Because your vessel can be a hole. It can be a hole where anything can get up in there, up in your vessel. Anything could be a hole where it can get up in your vessel. Doctrines, society, social media, the news, anything. And when people say Jesus, Yeshua, all that stuff is deities. Deities that don't have, these deities, they don't have no concern for nothing but their own agenda. That's the only concern that they have, is their agenda. That's it. Anything else don't play a factor. And when you're dealing with Hollywood, when you break down the word Hollywood, it goes back to the holly tree. So that's why they called it Hollywood. So if you go do research on a holly tree, you can understand that they're putting spells and curses on the mass majority of people, the sheeple, the regulars. That's what they're doing. Dealing with Hollywood, when you're dealing with these celebrities and all this stuff that's going on, dealing with the coronavirus and all this stuff that's going on, if your mind can't go past that, then you're going to be stuck back here in this. That's why I got this picture right here. I got this loop. You're going to be moving, but you're not moving nowhere. And this is to the religion people. That Jesus, that Jupiter and Zeus, deity, that process. That's why when they say, when you go to the grocery store, don't get processed meat. Don't get the meat that's processed or processed anything. It's the process to the reset. Like when I broke down the word loop, when you're dealing with the two zeros, the two O's that's in these words, dealing with Hollywood. It's a loop process. That's all it is. It's nothing but a loop process to keep you stuck in this matrix, to keep you stuck in this three-dimensional reality of straight bullshit. Straight bullshit. And a lot of people, they're not going to make the cut. They're still going to be focused on what's being put in their retina, what's being put in their eardrums, what's being seen but not unseen. Because it takes one planet to get a couple of people into the future. A whole planet dealing with 8 billion people. Allegedly, that's the number. With 8 billion people, allegedly, that's the number. Because when you get to 9 billion people dealing with the galactical code system, then you're going to see a shift. 3, 6, and 9. That's why in that movie, The Lords of the Rings, what did that movie really mean? When you're dealing with the Lords of the Rings, what did that movie really mean? It was the Lords of the religions. The Lords of the religions. The Lords of the Rings. Controlling the ring, which is the halo. The halo is the loop process, the hamster wheel that's embedded in your mind to keep you in that loop process. That's where that term, the Lords of the Rings, come from, because they were telling you right in your face, because they put everything in your face, that it was the Lords of the religions. That's why when you're dealing with what's that, the what do you call that? Oh, the Olympics. You see the Olympics, what's the Olympic sign? It's a whole bunch of circles. The Olympic sign is a whole bunch of circles, right? And then you have a car company that has the same circles, but they left out one. And one of the reasons why they left out one, because I'm not sure, but I think the Olympic circle has 5 circles, and then the car has the car that represents the circles has the 4 circles. All this stuff is put in your face for a reason. You think it's random? Ain't nothing random in this three-dimensional realm. It's always been about power. It's always been about mind activation. It's always been about seeing what's going around you and then getting to a level where you can see it without even trying to see it. Going to Halloween. Is it Halloween or Halloween? Which one is it? Which one is it? Because if you're a hollow and you have wings, then it doesn't matter if you fly, because your soul, because your soul is still hollow. Your soul is still hollow. So how are you going to fly mentally and your soul still hollow? You can't. You can't fly. It's going to be an illusion in this matrix, in this three-dimensional realm, dealing with these things that you see around you. Because everything that you see around you, some of it's real, some of it's not. Everything you see around you, some of it's real, some of it's not real. That's why you get the term when you're dealing with Jesus and you're dealing with Yeshua. One thing about Israel, when you're dealing with Israel, the people that's in Israel right now, they don't even believe in Jesus Christ. They don't. Is it real in Israel? Is it? Is it real in Israel? Is that stuff real? it can be real in the mind frame of the mass population factor to move forward into the future or not.